And we're live. Hi, everybody. It's
Hi. Hello.
it's Shannon and Jess again, and again. I don't even know what episode this is anymore.
I know, right?
For
it's like episode
another
3, Revenge of the Sith.
for another version of or another episode of Live with Shannon and Jess. And we have yeah, what's going on with your audio?
Is it okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, when you do that.
Okay.
So as soon as I say, what's going on with your audio? And then you like make it.
I perfect it.
Yeah. Put your mouth like right at the speaker. It's fine. And I should probably pull my microphone closer to me. You reminded me. Thank you. So we have it's not really a hot topic, but it might be after today. Who knows?
Hot topic is great. Awesome. I love hot topic.
Sure. Do you? Yeah, because they have all those like throwback T-shirts in there.
I mean, you go in there, you get nostalgic for all the stuff you thought was cool in like 1989, and now it's like a T-shirt, and they're kind of glorifying the cassette reality. It's like the 70s, the way the 70s was for when we were in the 90s.
For our parents, my parents are like, I don't want to listen to the Beatles again.
Right. They're like, we already did that.
Yeah. Isabel were like, it would be she'll see like something from like Nirvana or Metallica, and she's like, look at that shirt, Mom. And I'm like, yeah,
I know, right?
Yeah,
I was there when it happened. I think when it came out on cassette.
Just got kicked out of class for wearing that.
Oh yeah, I got kicked out of class for wearing my Damage Incorporated T-shirt with the skull with the 2 bats going through it with the spikes on it. It was too violent.
Yeah, you were so bad.
I know. Feel like a total rebel with my tea.
Oh.
Well, yeah, what's going on? What's going on, Shannon? What's going on in your world?
Shake and bacon. Got a lot done.
Yeah? Got a lot done. Me too. Preparing for the holidays. Making sure that everyone is feeling those merry vibes and happy, warm glow of good energy rising from their solar plexus. I don't
really feel like holiday-ish. It feels so weird.
But at the same time, like I have seen people like, Christmas isn't canceled. That's what somebody put at the Christmas store where they sell the trees in Ann Arbor, north of town here. I drive by, and it says, Christmas is not canceled. Come get your tree.
No.
Come get your tree. And it's like, hey, this is the time of the year we celebrate the lights. We celebrate the dark and the light. And
I know we're not. I mean, we haven't stopped celebrating a pagan holiday in 2,000 years. We're not going to stop now.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, we're not stopping now.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that's the reason for the season.
God bless it.
God bless it.
Yeah, so I think that's what's cool about. We're entering the solstice, you guys. So like, this is like the night rules. It's the longest night of the year. What is it? Monday? Something like that.
The 21st. Yes.
Yeah, Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking shortest day of the year, longest night of the year. Is there some other significant stuff? What is this about? Like Jupiter and Saturn are like close or something like that right now. So you're getting like a freaking.
Well, I've heard a lot of things from a lot of people.
What is it?
I said I've heard a lot of things from a lot of people. So it really.
Yeah, we need to get our resident like astrologer, master, interpreter of the stars type individual to manifest on this show.
Well, because there's things that happen differently every year. On the solstice with the different planetary alignments anyway, right?
Right.
So, but then there's the solstice as well. So it's always going to be the longest night of the year, which is why it's the solstice.
Right.
That's how it's marked. So it is, and but it also reminds us to enter the dark. I mean, there's actually like a little write up here inside my handy dandy.
Read it. Let's hear it. What's it say?
It says, "Longest night gives us with time to enter the darkness fully. We hold our breaths with nature, where life is suspended, waiting in." That word, extremitas. We talked about this. We read it before. Now I just remember because I couldn't say that word the last time. The stillness behind action gathers as we empty and trust in our renewal. What will you give/lose to the night? So it's a time to rebirth. Death is a metaphor. Learn to keep dying. The old symbol systems are dissolving at your feet, or at our feet, actually. We need a new language to speak to the crisis of denial and despair. Imagine new models of love, work, health, education, security. Claim your inner resources and fasten your seatbelts.
Both.
Yeah. Like Copernicus, we're engaged in a cultural rescue attempt. They wrote this like years ago. I can't believe that they must have known something was going on.
Who wrote this and when is it from?
It's the Wee Moon calendar.
Right.
It's my planner.
Okay. Oh, right. So they wrote that at the beginning of the year or whatever when they did the prognostications.
Yeah, I mean, they probably wrote it in 2018, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look back. Yeah, they probably 2019, probably when they finished it. Okay, so there's a little bit more. Like Copernicus, we're engaged in a cultural rescue attempt. We're not at the center, but one species among millions. Like Cassandra, we shake others awake from the slumber overtaking them. We've got to see through the assumptions and fears, awaken to the warning signs of the world slipping away, in fire, in water, in our human collusion in all directions. We didn't read this before.
We colluded with each other.
What the heck?
We're colluding right now, actually.
Our stories close their circle to unfold us. All of the old laws are thrown into the cauldron of solstice as we embrace the ground of what death doesn't touch. Very interesting.
Yeah, put it in the pot and melt that shit. Yeah, we're that's the time of the year, man. Let's amalgamate old styles into the new styles,
Yeah.
and coalesce and collude and create enlightened society of whatever we think is the perfect society. Let's create it.
Mm-hmm. And if there's anybody out there that studies runes, if you're into the
tune with the runes,
the rune lore,
tune.
My dad says ruin. The rune ice. There's lots of wisdom to be learned from that. Actually,
right. I believe it.
Yep, it talks much about this, a lot about the same thing. There's lots of I could get into that, but there's words that I can't even say, so I can't to read them on right. Camera would be bad.
Perhaps of the language realm.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So we're talking about solstice vibes right now. We're talking about the Wee Moon people and the darkness and falling into the darkness. And so they're talking about it's like the night swallows everything, right? So it's like all the old ideas and things are like melted in the cauldron and into the night as an offering to Kali Ma, And so we're melting it all into the melting pot and then going into the next year, kind of.
Well, I mean, I seem to have musicians in my life right now, but if you played every music note at the same time, you would never hear the song. You have to have the pauses between the notes to hear the melody.
That's right. Yep. Just
pause on that. That's a meditation right there.
There is no quiet without loud, and there's no loud without quiet.
Woo! That'll blow your hair back, huh?
Yeah. Exactly. There. Yep.
Yes. Man,
Everything has
those wee moon people are fabulous. I already bought next year.
So yeah, they've seen the visions. That's great.
Look, I already bought next year's. It's ready to go. Yes. There's actually another side to this. It says the paradigm of plenty. So there's like a whole nother reading on the other side. So
well, I think you probably got a reading for every day of the year, but we don't have 365 hours.
I think it was yeah, I think it was probably they, had two sides of the page, like I don't know.
Makes sense.
It's hard to say. Yeah. Yeah, I love their little ditties that they have in there because there's such wisdom in all those,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and they tell who wrote it, so maybe they have people that send them in.
That's no doubt. Absolutely.
Maybe somebody knows about that. I didn't blip up our chat, so I should probably figure out before we dive in here.
Oh yeah.
I said hello world, but it was before we were actually live. So
messages from the audience will display here.
Was it what? A sweaty ear?
Yep.
Hey everyone. And I did not share it on as a live stream yet, or as a watch party yet on my wall. So I will do that.
Okay, let's do that. Let's get
yeah, because it seems to get people rolling.
Yeah, right? I'm gonna play a little what do you call it, like intermission music.
Okay, intermission.
What you gonna do? What you gonna say? What you gonna do when we move? What you gonna say? What you gonna do? What you gonna say? We move.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Bless you. No, bless you.
Are we good?
Yeah. Whoo. There might be more where that came from. Just warning you.
It's all right. Get it out. We gotta heal you. Get them demons at you.
I was sneezing them out.
We're gonna bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
That'll take it up.
That'll do it. Sometimes you just need a little chartreuse.
Turn you loose.
Little baby just turns me loose. Loose. No, it just turns me loose.
I'm inviting some of our lovely friends here since I can.
Come to us. Come to us now.
Yep. So the next chapter of your friend, Alice Wallace, or Alan Wallace, Alice. That's his other. That's only when he wears a dress.
Yeah, he does do that. So sometimes he's Alice Wallace and sometimes he's Alan.
Really?
I'm just making that up.
Okay. That's killing me.
Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps he wears a costume. Maybe perhaps.
I love him anyway. Doesn't matter. Whatever, whatever floats his boat. That's cool. I'm not going to send this to you. I'm not going to let you know that we're doing a live.
That's fine.
That would be silly.
Somehow
That would be silly, right?
Somehow I already got the message.
Yeah, that would be silly. That'd be silly to do. So our big, huge topic, the scientific aspects of Tibetan Buddhism and the objectivity of perception. If that doesn't just light you on fire, I don't know what does. I don't know what will.
Scientific aspect of objective perception. Yeah, okay, go. Let's do it. Oh, well, whatever.
Rock it out, dude.
That's the way we do it every time. See, the real trick is to have the bliss, man. Because you have the bliss, then everything is kind of worth doing. You're happy. People who are really depressed, that's the real trick, And so how do you get out of that, There's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Or where there's a will, there's an A. Remember that program from the 90s?
What is it?
Where there's a will, there's an A. Do you remember that?
Yeah. No, yeah. Where there's a will, there's an A. Do
you remember that?
Yep.
I don't think it was very effective for me. Just saying.
Right. Did you get a B? Just kidding. All right.
I'm not. I'm not. So what kind of I'm sorry I cut you off.
I'm in one piece still.
What?
No, go ahead. I was not. There was nothing happened actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of spurred our conversation this evening to choose this as a topic? Not only is it like the next section in the book, because that's what we're following.
Yeah, we're going.
But we kind of fell upon this part. And I'll just read it, and then we can just dive in. What is really out there in the objective world, independent of our perceptions? Contemporary scientific materialism asserts that object reality is composed entirely of matter and energy, and that reality, it has been that way since the origin of the universe.
Yeah. That's really interesting. So, it's true that the matter and energy are what we're dealing with, matter and energy. But the third component is consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that seems really obvious. And something my teacher actually said, I heard in passing, someone told me that, a scientist, an objective scientist was talking to my Buddhist teacher, and the guy said to him, he goes, the universe is made up of matter and energy. And then Rinpoche was like, and consciousness, right? Like, in consciousness, mm-hmm. like obvious, you know what I mean? Like obviously consciousness. So it's interesting because so it's like this, with the objective scientists can't put their finger on mind, because mind actually has no physicality to it. Like, if you really are referencing, like, say for example, Buddhist scientists, they're going to tell you, like, you can't really touch the mind, except for in the realm of the mind. Mm-hmm. You try to point it out. There's not like there's physical signs of the mind, but there's not a thing that you go, oh, here's the mind. Can't you see it? It's kind of like saying your consciousness has no weight, no form, no shape, but it's as clear as the nose on your face. It's right there. It's your consciousness. So the problem is it seems like with the materialist scientists, they can't really prove this idea of just like consciousness existing, because you can't put your finger on it. You can't put your finger on it because there's not a physical thing to measure. While there's not a physical thing to measure, it's pretty clear that our minds are creating our reality in so many ways that you can't discount that. Consciousness is like, it's as clear as the nose on your face. But so that's like the discrepancy.
Do you think that kind of, in many ways, though, our consciousness drives the energy, right? In many ways.
Absolutely. I would say
your own.
Like, your consciousness drives the energy. Absolutely. Like, it's the, the energy is followed follows the consciousness. The consciousness is the rider, and the horse is the energy. You know, that's like that's the example they use in like kind of Eastern way of looking at consciousness. Your consciousness is, I believe this is from Tibetan Buddhist thing. Consciousness is the rider, and the horse is the energy. So the idea is kind of you visualize a horse and a rider, and the rider is the mind behind, like steering the horse, and then the horse itself is the manifestation of that volition that is being pushed forward by the mind. And that is really important to not discount the mind. And the problem with modern sciences is they blow off the mind too much, and so they need a little bit more mind. And so. And it's good because it's happening. You've got this mind and life thing where you get the scientists hanging out in with the Buddhist monasteries in India, and they're having this, like, you know, what we call it, meeting of the minds, meeting of the East and the West in terms of how you view reality, how you pick apart reality. And so it's showing, you know, because in the East, you know, you have this idea of the mind being this non-tangible thing, and it's kind of like the Western ego is like, well, we can't prove it, so it's not real.
I mean, but people do know that, like, laughter is the best medicine. Like, I mean, there is some things that we have, like, there is some awareness to that on a very maybe minute scales, you know, and we talk about the laws of attraction and how to, I mean, they're all, these two things are the same thing, that if you want to create abundance, or create, in which abundance can be more than just money. It can be like the abundance in health. And if you're, you know, bringing yourself in a higher frequency, higher frequency is ultimately love. So bringing yourself up into a higher frequency and doing acts of, or not acts of gratitude, but being in a state of gratitude is also a form of love. That, and so is happiness. It's basking in love, right? In that moment.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we work towards those states of mind, and we focus on that, then you create it, because your mind is powerful, and that's the idea of, you know, you're attracting it. You know?
We can only perceive that which we vibrate.
We're constantly creating a reality right now. That's the thing people mostly don't want to admit half the time, because if the reality is crappy, they don't want to admit that it's their fault.
Right, but we can only perceive those things that we. How do I say it? Because I actually wrote it.
Like at the level of, sure, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can only perceive those things that we vibrate, or we're at that frequency, and we're speaking in terms that maybe, you know, yeah, you don't walk around vibrating, but yeah, you do actually. Yeah.
I'm vibrating right now as we speak.
Right.
It's all love vibration right now. Big love for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, we're going through a very interesting time on the planet. Let's just be honest. Like, it's been like it's been really crazy. So we're going through that right now, all of us on different levels. So, like, if you can just recognize that right now in this moment, everyone's kind of, I mean, I got to use a shit show. It's a shit show. A lot of things going on, a lot of crazy stuff going on. But we're working through it. We're just, in the same sense, we're like adjusting to these new molecules in our environment, and like transforming our energy with the molecules in the environment, and transforming the molecules, purifying the air. We're purifying all of the space. You know, if you really think about it, if you put some energy into it, we can change that. The whole spectrum of what we're dealing with. Because mostly it's just, you know, we're dealing with our minds, essentially, you know?
Yep.
But we're powerful. Like, that's...
I'm just going to say that.
Yeah. Our minds are powerful, you know. They don't discount that, you know. You're a powerful being. Just, if you're listening to this right now, like, you are a powerful being. And, you know, don't let anything diminish your power. Kind of let it grow. Like, don't... Like, if you really want to go full wizard, you know, right? Like, don't try to dampen anything. Just go for it, you know. Amplify it. Go for what you know. Go for what you're good with. Put your energy towards something that you really love, you know, and I think that's where we're gonna, make this world super awesome, because we're reinventing everything right now with this situation we've been in, and we're recalibrating, we're re-understanding. We're questioning. We should question everything. If you're truly a scientist, you scientifically question. The scientific method is good if you use it correctly. It's really good. You analyze things. You question things. You have the right to question. You always have the right to question reality. Everybody always has the right. I come from that Buddhist viewpoint of like, the Buddha was like, you take my teachings, and if you test them and they don't make sense, they don't shine like gold, like you do the gold test where you bite into it and you see if it's real gold. Now, if it ain't real gold, then you throw it away. That's what the Buddha said. He's like, if what I'm teaching you doesn't help you, throw it away. And so that means use your mind, think about what you're dealing with, and just accordingly.
So that kind of brings us to another little segment of our discussion, the objectivity of perception. If science, obviously the scientific method has flaws, because our ability to perceive, if we are limited in our ability to perceive in our natural environment.
Precisely. The perceiver, the energy of the perceiver itself influences the experiment. In other words, the scientist is not disconnected from the science. And the scientist influences the science itself. This is the mind-blowing stuff. So when we understand that we're influencing the A and the B, everything, that's what they're really saying. And that's been like talked about more and more in modern science, that the perceiver influences the what you're seeing. So that's not like a far out concept. That's a quite grounded concept.
Yeah.
I do believe modern science, at some level, accepts that the way that the perceiver herself itself influences the perception of what you're looking at, and then that really rings true from like a Buddhist standpoint of like, what you see, the nature of reality. You're going to see what you think is real.
Well, we know that from efficacy studies, from placebo studies, and then you go into, okay, well, we've treated somebody with a sugar pill and they got well, and we did not treat them with any kind of chemical. Is the treatment less effective?
Well, the treatment is your mind is powerful.
So it does prove that maybe people are probably going to get well on their own, but convince them that they'll probably get well. I mean, it may be so.
Well, there's something to be said for having a positive outlook.
In statistics, we would say, I cannot confirm the null hypothesis. That's what that means. But we didn't. So that, but
again,
we can prove that
the perceiver influences the experiment.
Yeah.
But can you take that into account and still do the experiment? I think you can.
Well, we also know that scientific studies now, over Shaman Shah talked a little bit about this recently, that actually he didn't. He brought up a study that another person did a podcast on, another scientist, that research methods used to be when you read the studies out of like a journal, the methods would be like in the front, and they bury them in the back. That's why. Thank you, pharmaceutical companies. So because they want to bury that kind of stuff. So you have to think about stuff first.
Yeah, people really need to think and not just buy into whatever propaganda they're getting from any angle. And I'll say this, I think we've all been affected by propaganda. We all have to practice patience with one another when coming out of cult-like trances of propaganda. And if you're really wise, you can see into your own, you have to be careful. Like, that's why I go back towards the idea of the individual versus the group. Like, the group has its own wisdom, and it's true, there's a group wisdom, but the individual can even see past the group wisdom and go a little bit further. And don't discount the wisdom of the individual within the group shifting that dynamic. Yeah, I guess I'm a little esoteric there, but I think that everybody has the ability to help solve problems if they are able to reach a little bit further than what's been spoon fed to us, and it's just, if this year's taught us anything, it's that there's agendas there's agendas, and they really want you to believe a certain thing for a specific agenda, regardless of what it is. Like that's
Right.
what our news media has become, and that's
And
why
you can think it's this big, or you can think it's this big, and you can think it's the whole world. They're, but
it's a control mechanism, and it's dying. The old system is dying, and they're not able to control us anymore in that way, which they used to be able to. And we're breaking the programming. Like, the boomers broke it to a certain degree. Generation X is breaking the programming, and millennials and Gen Z, they're just like, I'm not even hearing you people. Like, we got our own reality. We're making up our own thing, And so all of us together, we're gonna like reforge the universe. We're gonna fix America. We're gonna fix the world, and it's because we're all smart and we all work together, like like ants in the colony. We all work together as a collective, but we're also, we're individuals within the collective.
because ultimately we still have to choose for ourselves, because sometimes one person's answer is not going to be the right answer for another person. Nobody's walked through my shoes. You can have empathy.
Everybody's different.
Yeah. You can have empathy for another. You can listen to them. You can feel into their emotion. You could energetically have empathy as well, even through Facebook, which is amazing.
Yeah, well, that goes with my theory, and I've said this to you before. I'm pretty sure that I believe that social media is actually enhancing people's psychic abilities.
Yeah,
that's my theory. You want me to describe it any further?
If I think I got a good handle on it, but if you'd like to
let me
share
with the
world,
what I mean by that, I think that by seeing into like multiple people's lives, like say you can see into 1,000 people's lives right now, their pictures, their who they're in love with, who they're having babies with, where they're eating food at, what they're doing, like it gives you like a tentacle of information that goes to that reality, and the place, time, and because people's minds are so strong, they carry it with them, this whole like reality mandala, and they're able to understand and see kind of into multiple people's lives at once, and it like enhances people's psychic ability because you're literally seeing it, and then you're able to kind of reach with your mind into that reality a little bit, and so that's what I mean by that. And I think it's interesting, and it's also kind of like there's good and there's bad. So, but I do believe that instead, I mean, obviously it can dull your senses if you use it the wrong way, and it can dull your senses. But there's this other flip side to it where you're actually gathering information about people on a really deep level that it's subconscious, beyond what you're seeing, like beyond the matrix. You can sense their consciousness, because really consciousness has no boundaries. Consciousness has no boundaries, so your consciousness can go anywhere.
So G-Man
is
from Oklahoma. I asked everybody to let us know where they're watching from.
Oklahoma is okay.
He also said,
we love Oklahoma.
He also said that his story is about to break, and will go worldwide. You'll know who I am soon enough. I'm really enjoying your show, though very, very well done. That was very nice of him.
Thanks, Mr. G-Man. We think you're great.
And we definitely hope everything goes well. Sounds like it's kind of stressful. I'm feeling into that.
So yeah. So what else did Mr. B?
So for me personally, like we were saying about that psychically tuning into somebody, I don't go to other people's walls. So
you don't go to their walls, but you see what's on their walls.
I usually think of something like, gosh, this really hit me, whatever I saw somewhere, or I don't know, like I just I was listening to a podcast or whatever, and gosh, I really think people would like to hear this, or something hit me profoundly. And then I share that, or somebody sent me something, and then I'll share those things. And then people will will interact with me. And then that's how the interaction will usually happen. But I don't generally go to other people's walls. And what I find is, it's not because I don't care, because I definitely do. I totally care. Um, I feel like it's a lot, because I think I feel that very intensely. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I call it it's like psychic garbage. It's like psychic noise. Like you're hearing like 1,000 screaming souls at once. And
yeah, if I feel like if they need me, they will be there. But I guess I hadn't thought of it, and so it hasn't been so intense until this year. And I think in times that there's been a lot of noise, like I've messaged people privately, because I'm like, wow, something more is going on and I'm feeling it. And then I've messaged them privately. But it's just kind of like what it's evolved to. And it's not like I do that exclusively. I have gone to people's pages, like I've gone to their walls, but it's not like I don't know how. I can.
Well, but my main point really is that somehow by using, for example, Facebook, it's like the Orthonac in Lord of the Rings. You don't know who's on the other side, but you can sense there's somebody over there on the other side.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And like it doesn't matter what the medium is. You can sense that there's someone there on the other side, actual consciousness, and then you can locate that consciousness in space and connect with it. And so it's real for people, whether they want to admit it or not, whether it's subconscious or it's consciousness. I'm bringing it to the forefront. I think that's what people are experiencing on either a minute level. They're kind of getting this, like, they're getting a little extra information from it, or
well, if you can pray for someone, if you know that prayer, prayer works, and you believe that prayer works, then you understand it. I don't care what you say. I don't believe it. Yeah. If you think that prayer works, then you understand it.
I pray. Your mind is powerful. Like, if you really want to put some energy out there, do it.
Right.
But it's
just making those connections. I'm sorry, Jess, I cut you off.
Just be careful what you wish for.
Well, I think it's like, oh, well, it's okay here, but it's not okay here. There's kind of like this disconnect of, no, you are a divine being, no matter where you are, whether you're in prayer or you're connecting lovingly to a friend across Facebook, you're still in prayer. It's the same thing.
Yeah, there's aspiration. There's aspiration going on, right? When you're thinking and talking, there's aspiration. You want things to go a certain way. You're hoping things go a certain way.
I hope
money to happen, food, like happiness, like whatever it is. There's like these subconscious prayers. Sure, absolutely. It's like if you want to take the word prayer and say mental affirmation, and change, like if you don't like the word prayer, switch it with the word mental affirmation, and your mind is trying to affirm certain realities constantly. I mean, it is doing that already in terms of this is what is real. I'm reaffirming what is real. This is what I believe to be real. I'm reaffirming it. You're constantly doing that. So it's a prayer. Sure.
Are you okay? Or is there, because people have been things have been in turmoil. It might be that, are you okay? Is there something I can help with? Like they're checking on that. If you believe in prayer, because I think we're in a more Christian-based society. That's where I'm bringing it back to. Is that?
Well, yeah, the word prayer is however you want to look at it.
Sure.
But I mean, I'm able to extricate myself from programming of any prior religious stuff, and just know what my mind thinks. And I do think that our minds are powerful. And so, if you want to call it prayer, you want to call it affirmations, you want to call it like, I want things to be a certain way, I'm putting my energy into it. It makes a difference, like Professor X, dude, like he's influencing reality right here, like Professor X, right? He's the bald guy, it's psychic. And he's so powerful with his psychic ability that he's able to influence reality, and he can use it in a negative way, like a black magic style, and make people do things. Or which is like taking over someone's will. And then there's the other side, is like trying to influence reality in a positive way So the thing is our minds have this ability, is what I believe. I believe that there's a consciousness. Consciousness is without any boundaries, and we exist kind of simultaneously on many realities. If we, the more we become aware of this type of reality, the more we can use it and help manifest things on purpose rather than by accident. And then the idea is we're manifesting an enlightened society, enlightened mandala. We want to change, we want to get rid of the negativity, we want to bring in the positivity. How do we do this? And then it comes back to this idea of working for the benefit of all sentient beings. And if you do that, it brings it always back to that point of like helping all sentient beings. It's a focal point. And then you're able to, hopefully, the idea is eventually you're able to help all sentient beings. Do people have that ability? I believe they do.
Are you able to see the comments?
Yeah, this G-Man, he's saying hi. He's talking about Tiger King.
Yeah, but you have to read the one before that, because I think you'll understand it better than me.
You guys are talking about explains why the spirit of Travis Maldonado.
And I think you meant the Tiger King.
Jose Maldonado, my guitar student, when he brought it into my house. Yeah.
Dropped off something that.
Listen, I'm like a voodoo Buddhist. I believe that that there is a such thing as bringing in energy and beings into like being possessed is a real thing. Like it's a real thing. Like dealing with entities of different levels, unenlightened, enlightened, like unenlightened spirits, like the like the Yoruba and the voodoo and the hoodoo, bringing in like different ancestral spirits. You don't know if they're completely enlightened or if they're unenlightened. I do believe that kind of thing happens, but it's also very subjective, and there's also like you have to be really like careful
and protecting yourself too. That knowing that you can say no, not here, out.
That's right. You have to be. The alpha. You have to be the alpha when it comes to the spirit world. If you talk to anybody who talks about any kind of ghost busting type stuff or dealing with spirit type stuff, the really smart ones will tell you have to be the alpha. And if you're comfortable with that, tough. You have to do it, or else they're going to be the alpha. In other words, it's called command presence. Police have what they call command presence, where it's like, "Hi, I'm in charge. Let me tell you what's going on. How you doing? Have a seat." It's called command presence. And when you're in the spirit realm, that same reality exists in the spirit realm. It's called command presence. You have to be the alpha.
Yeah, you're not the shrinking violet. You're actually an incarnated being in a flesh body. That's how powerful you are. They are not. That's because they're not that powerful. So you're gonna.
They have their own power, but it's like that they talk about when a human sees a bear, the bear is scared of the human just as much as the human's scared of the bear. Like you have to be like the bigger bear, basically, and but also just not be afraid to deal. Because the thing is you do have the ability to deal with this stuff. You got to kind of tap into that higher thing that you're connected with, whatever you want to call it, and manifest whatever it is that you need to manifest. Because, like I said, people are powerful.
He said, "You're absolutely correct, bro. That's what I do. I'm very aggressive. I know that I rule this ship." That's what he said.
What's up, buddy? You're the alpha. You have to. And hopefully, and the idea is if you're positive alpha, that you will guide these, whether they're spirit beings, human beings, animal beings, ghost beings. If you're the positive alpha, then you're gonna bring them towards that energy, that positive energy, which is whatever it is that you're leading them in the positive direction. You're being the leader, like the actual leader, like us, like from a real spiritual leader leads people in the positive direction. And if you can manifest that, then that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of that, sometimes when you're of that, people will come into your reality that are attracted to that, but are dealing with that stirs their pot after a little while. and they're not able, they're dealing with it. It surfaces their whatever shadow they're still working with, and that is a struggle. We've seen that before.
Yeah. Well, we're all working to become better, right?
Absolutely.
Things we go through and different things, like it's not always going to work out the first time, but if you're persistent, then you can make things happen. And then if you have the right team, then you can really make things happen, And
right.
Yeah.
He says his blood type O positive. I am deposited naturally. It causes me problems with the negative, but I always sharpen their face.
I love this show. You guys are so encouraging. Thank you so very much. Yes.
I don't know what sharpen your face means.
I'm just gonna say, we're with you. You seem like a good guy. Let's manifest positive things in your life. O positive, B positive, B negative, B positive. You have the ability to make things awesome, and I'm sure you know how to handle it.
Yeah. Are you O positive, Jess? What are you?
Nope.
You're not?
Guess my blood type.
I don't know. You eat a lot of noodles.
I'm B positive. B positive!
You're B positive?
Yep.
I'm O positive.
Oh, see? You're just like G-Man.
G-Man! G-Man is in the house.
Just in case, man. Better to know than not know.
Yep. It's so funny because my dad didn't know what he was, and I'm like, Dad, you're O positive. He's like, how do you know? I'm like, because I am.
Is that true, though? Isn't it different for people?
Well, yeah, because I know that my mom did not, because the RH factor would be different, and she would have had those shots, and I'm the oldest, and I know that she didn't have the shots. So, I mean, we would all be O positive. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, I believe it.
Yeah.
You'd be right.
That's what happens when
you could be right.
That's what happened when you cycle through a lot of different majors, like early on in your college career. You're like learn a bunch of stuff that you're like,
I'm a master of the liberal arts.
Exactly. And I did not want to have liberal arts. Like I just wanted to go down that path. And so it was like I was always grabbing onto something
in liberal arts.
I did, applied arts, actually. Applied. I guess no. I have my associate.
In applied arts. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got my associate in the liberal arts. So between you and me, we can liberally apply our arts together.
But I do have a BS, for real.
Oh, I know it. Don't we all?
I do. It's really a Bachelor of Science.
We're scientists, man.
Yeah.
Question reality constantly.
Yeah.
Galileo was considered crazy because he believed that the sun was the center of the solar system and not the Earth. So he was considered to be a conspiracy theorist, essentially. Galileo was a conspiracy theorist of 1,000 years ago. And
I don't know, but they still have his hand somewhere going like this.
He's like, I was right. You're wrong. I was right.
And it's all decrepit and.
You must have been. I was right. No, he was right. That's just it. He was right.
It's in a terrarium.
The Catholic Church actually had to put out a decree about two or 3 years ago that that they removed his excommunication. This is official.
Nice.
The Catholic Church officially removed the excommunication of Galileo. They're like, we're sorry, you're not excommunicated. You can go to heaven now. And so if you're really a strict Catholic, you're like, oh, now he's in heaven. But because I know some Catholics who are very literal and they take all that stuff very literally, which is cute to me because I do believe in saints and this and that. But if the church doesn't say they're a saint, then they're not a saint. And I'm like, I take a political view of the sainthoodness. I think anyone,
because there's gonna be a man that walks on this earth, or woman that walks on this earth, that's going to have any determination over that.
I know exactly, and that's why I think it's cute.
Really? Yeah.
I think it's cute. It's like,
Okay. Okay.
they said it's all good.
Okay.
The men said it because the men said it. It's true. No,
Right.
but I thought it was funny. They officially excommunicated Galileo because of his views on, and like I think they put him like in the freaking, they threw him in the Hooskow. They threw him in the freaking tower or whatever. Like he had a bad go of it because of that, because he was against the group thought, because he questioned group reality. And you know what? He was right. And so that whole paradigm of reality, it took years. It took what, like 1,000 years for the Catholic Church to be like, yeah, you were right. I'm sorry.
Apology letter.
At least they could do it.
Yeah, we couldn't
put admit it when they're wrong, right? It might take 1,000 years, whatever, rotten corpse.
Yeah, we can't bury you on hallowed ground, but we'll just, throw you in a mass grave or something. I don't know where they buried him. I don't know.
Galileo Figaro.
I can't match that. Sorry.
I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me.
Oh, I know the words. He's just a poor boy from a poor. I'm not singing on TV or whatever. All right. Don't make me sing. That's like, this is like on TV or whatever it is now. Do we even have TV anymore? I don't even know.
It's on TV. We're live on TV.
Right.
There's someone watching us right now in the future.
Right. Exactly. Now I forgot I know what it was. Okay. So, yesterday I was having a discussion with somebody about, King James. And
King James, you said? King James.
And I had to do a little bit of research, because he wrote he wrote demonology. Do you know about demonology? King James?
Yes, my friend, I know.
I don't. Like, I've had it in my Amazon cart a couple times and I took it out. Like,
it's like what you need to know. There's lower entities that feed off of certain energy, and you can.
No, but that's what he used to hunt the witches in Scotland. Like, or what they called.
You won't learn it from a Jedi.
What they called witches. I mean, they were all innocent.
Well, I mean, it's like, put it this way: like, if you're really a student of the universe, like, you will study not only demonology but angelology and in between ology. You should know about all of it. Like, obviously, if you're a well-rounded wizard, you will study.
Sure.
Study all sides of the force.
But I was just not feeling it. I was not feeling it in the time that's been in there, and I'm like, I'll buy my card.
You don't need to read it. It's not. Maybe it's like.
Maybe I don't know.
No, like I just said, I'm just explaining it to you. Demons, yeah, right. You got lower entity beings with certain abilities and powers, and they can grant you wishes, but they also take something from you, and you make deals with them. You don't know what kind of deal you're getting. It's like making a deal with the devil. Don't know what you're going to get. It's like dealing with, and then they change the terms of the freaking terms of service, and you're like, what? And you're like, oh. So, but you don't, it's, if you were to ask a really conservative Buddhist practitioner, they'd be like, no, you don't make deals with lower entity spirit realm beings.
I don't know that that's what it was about, though. It was about no. I wanted to know the history of why he, he. I mean, it was used to. Well, it was used to politicize a movement that hurt people. That's why I was interested in it. I'm not interested in it for the information.
The witch trial stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I'm sure the information is crap. I mean, it's just made up.
There's a lot of crappy books out there. Let's just be real. There's a lot of bullshit out there.
I wanted to know the history of what it was. Yeah, it was used as propaganda. That's what it was. I mean, that's why I was interested in it.
Everything in this realm is political. So you have to really, if you really want to get the information, you have to be able to transcend human politics to understand the essence of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Our friend is sending us some more messages. He's got a lot going down
We'll have to bring him on for his own show.
Yeah, like he's got some stuff going down.
Yeah, man.
And he's
Facebook?
excited.
Is there anybody talking on the Facebooks?
Just G-Man. He's got some stuff. He's ramping up, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who, like I said, get psychic information from the freaking universe, and there's a million of us out there.
So I guess this person is a young man that worked for Tiger King.
That's interesting. Tiger King.
I've never seen the show.
It's the most viewed in the world documentary. And it's because of the lockdowns. People watched it. They were bored.
Yeah.
Like that show, watching it, it gets one step more crazier, and then the next day it's even more crazy.
You know, don't research what's going on in the world. Watch Tiger King. Good idea. I'm just reading what he's saying.
Yeah.
He didn't. He was a student. He was one of his guitar students. He did say that. Yeah. So he just kind of. Okay. So yeah, he didn't. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I did remember hearing something odd about the man that was the top guy at Tiger King. He like flipped some of the people in the show to have more of a gender sexuality preference.
Yeah, he turned some boys into his little gay boys.
Yeah.
No, he did. He really did. That's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah. So
they're like, we're not gay. That's Woo!
I don't know anything about. I just know that something.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy's saying. I really don't. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't seem.
Yeah.
But here we are at the 6:57. We're like.
Yeah. So we should probably wrap things up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, and G-Man, maybe we can talk offline or something. It sounds like you kind of need a little support. So I'd hate for you to out him too much publicly as well. So try to be a little tactful.
We got a lockdown on the whole reality.
Yeah. Yeah, and he might. It sounds like he might be swirling a little bit too, and we do that when we're under a lot of stress. So it's okay. We get it.
It's time for my oatmeal. I'm just kidding.
Are you? You just had noodles.
Just kidding.
Okay. So, yeah, we're getting there. So, it was a good. I think we covered stuff pretty good tonight.
I think so too. I think that was brilliant.
So next week, I think next week we're getting into. Is next week the 22nd? We'll probably be on next week, but then I think our schedule will be the same.
The other side.
The other side of the solstice. So things might be really interesting next week.
Yep. We'll watch. We're watching. We are the watchers. We watch everything. We see all. We hear all. And we feel all.
Yeah. If we need to pop on, maybe we'll just have to do that if something gets interesting and we feel.
Or we might have to pop off, as in vodka. Oh, just kidding.
So we will say good night, everybody.
Auf Wiedersehen. Have a good night, everyone.
So long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, good night. I can sing that. Yay.
Take care, everyone. Peace and love.
Bye.